Good morning and thanks for joining us on the program at TVC Breakfast today. My name is Etoma Edu.
Well, good morning, Nigeria. TGIF. Thank God it's Friday. It's been a pleasure, just giving you the show from Monday through to Friday. Thank you for joining us this morning. There's a lot to talk about on the show. You know how we do it. I'm Ria Abdul, and of course, welcome to our show.
Absolutely. Thank God it's Friday. We're here again to give you all the information you deserve to know. I'm Ibrahim Shita. Good to see you again.
Good to see you. It's Friday. Thank God it's Friday.
Okay.
How are we feeling this morning?
And anytime you show excitement that it's Friday, I feel, come on, man, why are you doing this?
Oh, yeah, because you have work tomorrow. Ibrahim, thank God it's Friday.
There's so much to do tomorrow.
You're good?
Yeah, so
okay,
good.
perfect. So we'll get into our conversation this morning. Now, you know how we do it. I'll give you a rundown of what we'll be doing. At some point, Ibrahim will bring us all the headlines. We get to dissect it right here on the show. Later on, we're talking about a very important summit that is coming to Lagos. So please keep your fingers crossed. We will be talking about it. Also, we'll talk about the Ekiti governorship elections. It's happening, and we will get to speak about it. The guests will join us, and we just speak about the modalities and what we expect for INEC from this election. And then when we take you all the way to Abuja, we'll talk about the NDC. Now, they're making it very difficult for people to defect from their party. We will speak on the show later on in Abuja, and then we'll come back where Ibrahim will take us through everything happening in the world of social media and more. So we implore you to please grab that cup of coffee, and let's have a very, very fantastic show.
It's now time for us to look at what the papers are reporting. First, we have a peek through. The Nation newspaper says DSS rejects foreign funding for security intelligence gathering. The writers read, Secret Service seeks amendment to proposed bill. Governors perfect state police modalities. Next is the Punch newspaper. Bandit attacks. Federal government raises 500 billion naira emergency security fund. Fund deducted from Federation account ahead of May FARC meeting. DSS seeks ban on foreign funding of security operations. Governors engage attorneys general on state police structure. Next is the Platform Times. Stop giving terrorists free publicity. Federal government tells media. Says front page coverage feels fear. Urges shift to highlight security gains. Next is the Vanguard newspaper. Insecurity. Governors seek swift establishment of state police. Say there is need for state police to be constitutionally sound and aligned with federalism and citizens' rights. State attorneys general to review proposed constitutional amendments, frameworks for state police, reiterate commitment to ongoing power sector reforms. Next is the Nigerian Tribune. Ekiti poll. CSOs demand transparent, credible poll. Police map out security deployment in flashpoint areas to crack down on vote buyers. And Nigerian News Direct, May 2026, domestic production surges as fuel imports, consumption plummets. That's according to report. And the Guardian newspaper, International Day, 40% inaccurate false lab results, worsen sickle cell epidemic, pains. And last but not the least is the Sporting Life. Chukwueze risks fringe role at AC Milan as Mbappe has World Cup history in sight. Okay, let's do this with my colleagues, Etoma and Ria. Just the three of us.
Just the three of us. We can do it if we want. Okay.
All right, then, so the Nation newspaper, is talking about the DSS rejecting foreign funding for security intelligence gathering, Secret Service seeking amendment to proposed bill, and governors perfect state police modality. So there is this conversation, this push, for the foreign funding, according to one of the honorables, that's the House of Representatives, Emmanuel Dobry, presenting the agency's formal objections, while the DSS strongly support the overarching objective of establishing a dedicated trust fund to provide sustainable financing for counterterrorism and intelligence gathering. It maintains that the fund must be strictly domesticated. So, because we've seen the U.S. Lawmaker, Scott Perry, at the time, who told us, made it known on the floor, saying that USAID and all of those aids, most of them were used to fund terrorism, not just in Nigeria, but across the African nation.
Yes, I think the psychology behind it is that of he who pays the piper dictates the tune.
Right.
All right. you don't need foreign financing for your internal security issues. If you have security issues in your country, it is your citizens that are feeling the bite. So the funding should come there. And if you get foreign countries to fund it, how are you sure that those foreign countries that are funding the anti-terrorism fight are not the ones also funding the terrorism itself?
You're right.
So that's the way, that's the psychology behind it. And personally, yes, I support it, because in Nigeria, we have the kind of funding, we do have the kind of funding to fight our domestic terrorism.
Absolutely. If you look at it, as he said, he will pay the piper calls the tune, because one thing is, those who give you the money will tell you this is where you should fight, where you shouldn't fight. I remember the Super Tucano at the time, during the Obama administration, it didn't release, I mean, after releasing it to us, they told us where we can use it and where we can't use it. And where we can't use it were those places that the terrorists were in abundance.
Which is a very big problem for me, because intelligence is supposed to be secret. It's not something that, is supposed to be shared with people. And the DSS is essentially saying that, while Nigeria needs resources to tackle insecurity, intelligence gathering is too sensitive to be funded by foreign interests. Now, the debate is that if these people give you money, and they're asking you to do certain things, now that's where the problem lies. But then again, let's ask ourselves a very important question. Do we now have the money to fund the insecurity that we're seeing, in Nigeria? We can go on and on about everything that is happening. But like Atoma has rightfully said, we have this money. So why are we now looking for foreign investors to come and put money into our security? So I agree with the DSS on this particular one. Let us fund it ourselves. Let us be able to fight what we want to fight. We can't be having security issues and we're waiting for somebody to tell us whether we should go here, whether we should go here. And intelligence is so secretive for people to meddle inside and bring money. Because when somebody gives you money, they automatically have a say.
Absolutely. So the Punch newspaper, Atoma, bandit attacks, federal government raises 500 billion Naira Emergency Security Fund, and this is deducted from the Federation Account Allocation Committee. The direct deduction was completed as a national security emergency intervention prior to the monthly revenue sharing formula being distributed among the federal, state, and local governments. So this is the federal government saying, with all of the monies that we'll send to you, we'll share among the state governors. We'll take certain percentage from them in order to prosecute the the insecurity that we're facing in the country. And we know that the governors have not really been up and doing in helping their nationals, the citizens, where they preside over. So this time around, the federal government is saying we have to do this. We have to go it all together.
And it's a little bit embarrassing for me that governors have to be put in this kind of situation. I mean, this is something that I expected governors to be the ones that will suggest that why don't we have a pool where we put money strictly for this insecurity issue.
Over time they've been receiving what's it called? Security fund.
Votes.
Right. All the security votes.
So where is all the money?
And the security votes, if somebody tells you the figure, your head will spin, and where your state becomes a flashpoint, you can ask for more. You get what I'm saying? So I love what the federal government is doing. They say, look, if you can't think about it, we're going to force you to do this. Something like security, as we said earlier, is something where we can fund it. All we need to do is to have a sort of special fund where not just state governors, but individuals, companies can donate into.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the platform time. Stop giving terrorists free publicity. Federal government tells the media, saying front page coverage feels fear, urges shift to highlight security gains. I remember when I was in school, part of the things when we were being taught about terrorism and counterterrorism, they said that the more you report the activities of terrorists, the more you make them happy, because they need to. They are doing everything to get on the front page of the newspapers, taking over the media and all of that. And that also signals to their sponsors that they're actually delivering on the evil.
Ibrahim, it's a very dicey conversation, because there's no way that things like that will happen in Nigeria and we, the media, would not get to report it. But I want to look at it from the angle of the people that do comedy about it. The blogs that just post without verifying. The blogs that will post gory images. Remember when the teacher's head was beheaded, and some blogs were actually posting that. For me, I would stand irresponsibly. For me, I would stand on that. But I wouldn't stand on the fact that something has happened in Kogi State and we are not reporting the news because,
No,
you know,
the minister is not saying we
Yeah.
shouldn't report it. He's saying that it shouldn't be taking prominence, you know, on our papers.
But
because
Ibrahim,
internationally.
Ibrahim, wait, quickly, if you hear that there's been an attack where, let's say, 100 or 50 people have died, it takes prominence. That is the conversation of the day, because these are Nigerians that have died. So I want to put it from the angle of social media, but you cannot say we would not report.
They are not saying you shouldn't report. They're saying that it shouldn't be on the front pages of
Ibrahim,
newspapers.
if people have lost their lives in Nigeria,
and that continues to increase the fear for a whole lot of people.
It will make
and this is exactly what international experts have been saying about fighting terrorism.
For security strategy, the minister is right.
Absolutely.
You know, when we do that, when we do two things. We make the people increase the fear of the people, and then we give the terrorists the.
So what the minister should do, and what we should do as Nigeria, to make sure that we crop out insecurity, so that we do not have to say we will not report it or report it. The most important thing is to make sure that there is no insecurity happening in Nigeria. If you say that,
Absolutely.
But if a couple of people have died or school children have been abducted, you can't say you will not bring out the news because of fear and panic.
Right. Let's move on very quickly. The Guardian newspaper is saying International Day, 40% inaccurate false lab results worsen sickle cell epidemic and pains. So we have over 150,000 annual SCD births, 60 to 70% diagnostic error rate. You know, some people are actually AA, they'll tell them they are AS. Some people are AS and they'll tell them they are SS, you know, one way or the other. So at the point in time, I wasn't sure whether I was O positive or O negative.
At that time, at things like this, I wonder if science is as accurate as it's supposed to be, because science is accurate. So if we are having all these wrong diagnoses and there is a human error, so we should look inwards, train ourselves a little bit better, move with the times, use equipment, more modern equipment, because 40% for a health issue, that is too much.
Yeah, that's actually criminal, because if you give somebody a wrong diagnosis, that is criminal. Because if I'm SS and you told me I'm AA and I'm going around sleeping, not knowing that I'm very sick, so that is something that we definitely need to look into. But I feel like we also need to get the appropriate machines, to test these people, because oftentimes some of those hospitals, they don't even have the right machine for the right test.
Yeah, so it's permutations that do, not scientific proof.
And then some people, they actually mix it up. You know, they mix the results up. You know, imagine doing DNA test and then you're mixing up the results. You know, you're destroying families.
Yes.
Right. Then the Nigerian News Direct, let's go back there a step backward. May 2026, domestic production surges as fuel imports consumption plummets. So we see that Dangote refinery has been really helping in mitigating the impact of the crisis in the Middle East. We're having more consumption, more production, and then less of importation, which is helping, the price of, fuel, if you think.
Yeah, I think this also should teach us a lesson and let Nigeria know that we need oil reserves. We need oil reserves. It's not enough for us to have domestic production surging. We should also have reserves for times like this, because if it happens once, it can happen again.
Absolutely, and people are so bent on wanting to import oil, but then we see how this will definitely pan out at the end of the day. We are happy with the results we're getting so far. Last but not least, and quickly, Chukwueze risks fringe role at AC Milan, and then we see on the bottom strip here, final pre-WAFCON FIFA ranking. Nigeria remain Africa's best as Morocco, Zambia slip. Yeah, of course, that's who we are.
Yeah.
We're just amazing.
Giants of Africa, it's just sad that we didn't make it to the World Cup, though.
Yeah, that's still news.
That's still
All right, then that's about it for the newspapers up for review.